Dr. Kongresu, Director of EM Education. Kongresu has worked with EM Education since its inception in 1992, joining as full-time staff member in 2004. While a member of EM staff, he worked in a range of roles, including a school designer, regional director, and chief academic officer. Ron is author or co-author of 7 EM education books, established and led the publication and multimedia division, and created and led the EM research advisory board. As a writer, a speaker, and representative in policy meetings, he brings the mission and model of EM education to foreign audiences with and beyond the United States. He was a member of the National Commission on Social, Emotional, and Academic Development. Ron did his graduate work at Harvard Graduate School of Education and later taught a course there based on the website Models of Excellence, which he founded and continues to lead along with EM education at Harvard colleges. Models of Excellence houses the world's largest collection of high-quality student work. Prior to joining the EM staff, Ron worked for over 20 years as a public school teacher and master carpenter in rural Massachusetts. He received the Internasional Teacher of the Year award. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Leandro. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go to welcome Mr. Robert Anderson.
Thank you. I am honored to be asked to come here to this beautiful place for this amazing event. I will be with you this afternoon and also tomorrow morning. So I first want to start by saying, obrigado, thank you, gracias, I appreciate so much having had a chance to come and be with you all. In America, we make lots of movies, films about superheroes. My grandchildren told me they wish that there were superheroes in real life. People with superpowers who could do impossible things. So I told my grandchildren I met real-life superheroes. The sisters, the mothers. They have superpowers and they do impossible things. I could not pass by a chance to spend time with real-life superheroes and be here. I will be here for 1 week. I'm here to see how I can best help this beautiful project here and the great work you are doing, and equally to learn from you all in the great work that you are doing here. I think this is a model not just for Timor-Leste, but for the world. This is the way the world should work, what's happening here. And I travel all around the world speaking, and I'm going to use what I learned here, the pictures, the stories, your stories, to share with everyone around the world, because this is the way the world should be, what's happening here, right now. I am so appreciative to be with you. Today, I was asked to speak about crew. We have a word in English, crew. It means team. It also means teamwork. So when there's a ship, a boat, all the people on that ship that are working to get it safely to where it's going and that is the crew. When there is a building that's being built, like right there, everyone who works together to make that building come together, from the architects to the builders to the planners, they are part of that crew, the building crew. When there's an event like this beautiful event here, everyone who worked to make this event possible, all the students, all the teachers, all the leaders, all the helpers, they are all that crew. So, you all know what crew means. The thing I want to talk to you today is, how can we bring the spirit of crew more into schools? So, Naroma and Esperansa would not be possible without the big crew that made this place possible. So, the two different orders that came together and collaborated, who are here today to join forces to make this place, they are the crew. And all of the faith community here in Timor-Leste and across the world that are supporting this, they are the crew. And all the educators here in the local ministry, and in Indonesia, and in Australia, and in Portugal, and in Spain, and everywhere around the world that's represented here and helping, they are part of that crew. Esperansa would not be here without that broader crew, because everyone is working together for a common goal. No one knows this idea of crew more than all of you, because that's what we are a crew together. But when we lead schools, we don't often take that superpower of crew and bring it into our schools themselves. Here's what I want to explain. The students in our schools often see themselves as passengers, not crew. What's the difference? On a ship, the crew are the people steering the ship, actively working, being of service. The crew are the people doing the learning, the working, and the passengers are sitting and things are handed to them. On a ship, the passengers sit and people bring them food. They bring them drinks, and they sit. They don't learn, they don't help, and they're not of service. That's the way we often treat students in our schools. We have them sit, and we bring them content. We bring them mathematics. We bring them literacy. We give it to them, and we expect them to sit and take it. We don't ask them to be crew. Because of that, many students don't care to be crew. If we rethink this idea of crew, if the students themselves were the crew of your school, they would think, my job here is to be of service. We are all in this together, the leaders, the teachers, and the students. We are all working together as a crew to get this school to a beautiful place. We are all guiding this ship to a beautiful place. And we all have to step up and be of service. That's the vision that I and my nonprofit organization in America is trying to bring to schools around America and around the world as much as we can. This spirit and this culture of crew. In America, we work with many students. Right now, almost 2 million students we work with. So more than all the people in Timor-Leste. But we are also spreading these ideas to other countries because we don't own these ideas. Just like the faith and the ideas that were shared this morning are there to spread to everyone. No one owns them. And so, today I'm going to talk about crew. Tomorrow morning, I will talk about beautiful work. I need to start by telling you, I don't know your culture. All of your cultures. I don't know what works where you are, whether in Timor-Leste, or whether in Indonesia, or in Australia. I'm not here to tell you how to teach or how to lead. I am not coming with answers. I'm coming with ideas and examples. I bring examples from America, and I bring examples from all over the world, and I'm going to share ideas with you, and I'm going to share examples with you. And I hope some of them will be useful. Some of them will not. You can throw those away. But if I share many examples and one is useful, I will feel happy. That example at least was useful for you. Sister Monserrat shared this morning a quote from Pope Francis of, "Our job is to build bridges." I love this quote. My hope for you is that when I'm sharing examples and stories, you will think, that one's crazy. Not at all like where I am. That one, no, I can't use that. But that one, I can build a bridge to that idea and take some of that home to my setting, my culture, and make it real. I can't tell you how to do that, but I hope you will make those bridges. Because the cultures and the stories I share with you will look very different from where you are. Whether you are here in Timor-Leste, or whether you're in Indonesia, or whether you're in Darwin, Australia, it will look different. But there may be ideas here that you can use. This quote is from the founder of Outward Bound, which is the wilderness organization that brings people, adults and children, into the wilderness, not to teach wilderness skills, but to build character, to teach courage and compassion in the wilderness by working together as a crew. And this quote, "We are crew, not passengers," is where we got the name crew for our team structure. So all of the 2 million students in America that use our model, they think of themselves as part of a crew on a ship, working together with their teachers to do service for the world. Here's that same quote in Indonesian. Why does that matter for schools? I have a friend in America who is a researcher at the University It changes it from individual sport to team sport. What does that mean? I can give a personal example from my life. When I went to school in America, it was an individual sport for me. My job was to get myself ahead. My job was to do the best I could academically and get to graduation and get to university. It was a competition for all of us to get ahead of each other. And if my classmates did poorly, that helped me. The worse they did, the more I would rise. There was nothing in the culture of my school growing up that encouraged me to support all of my classmates. And so some students succeeded. I was lucky. I did. I worked hard. I got ahead. Many of my classmates did not. They did not graduate. They didn't go to university. They didn't get good skills for a career. I wasn't worried about them because that's not the culture of my school. I was raised to be selfish. That's what my school did. In contrast, in the schools that I'm lucky enough to work with that take crew seriously, if you ask students, what's your job in this school, they would not say to get myself to succeed. They would say to get all of my classmates to succeed. My job is to get the entire How's that? Maybe the battery is gone? Yeah, give me the battery. Obrigado. 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 How is that? Not yet. Disculpa. I will try using my big voice for now. And if the microphones get fixed, we'll go back to that. Disculpa. When I visit the schools that I work with, and I ask students what their job is, they say, I need to make sure my whole crew succeeds. I need to make sure all of my classmates succeed. Otherwise, I will fail. They see their job as helping everyone succeed, not just themselves. And they don't see that getting ahead themselves is a good thing for anyone. If we all get ahead, our community grows, our culture grows, our country grows. It helps all of us if our crew succeeds. That's a different way of thinking that I was not privileged to have when I was in school, but the students that I work with now have that privilege. So, the first thing Crew does is it transforms the culture of a school from individual to we are a team, we are a crew together. When I say crew, I actually mean two things. One is the culture of crew, the culture of teamwork. You think of others before yourself. We are in this together. Thank you. We are in this together. We are there to help each other. That's the culture of Crew. But we also found we needed a structure, a meeting structure every day to remind us all of our collective mission. And so we have a structure every day where students sit in a circle, and that circle meeting is called Crew. Younger children, preschool, kindergarten, primary children, sit together, the whole class. But for secondary students, they're too big to sit in a circle. And they have too many teachers. They need a family at school that's smaller. So for secondary students, they meet in a small group of about 12, about a dozen students, every day. And that group is their family at school. They meet every single day for a half hour, 45 minutes in that family group. And they have an adult Crew leader who guides their family group, guides their Crew. And that adult leader knows their parents, or their grandparents, or their foster parents, whoever they live with. So, if Sister Monica and I are, or Sister Montserrat and I are in a Crew, and I don't show up at school, they know what my story is. The Crew leader goes to my house. Where is Ron? What's going on? It's hard for kids to disappear or hide when they have a family meeting every single day, forcing them to be there. If I come to Crew and we do an academic check-in, how are you doing in each of your classes? And I say, I'm doing okay in language, but in mathematics, I'm not doing well because my teacher doesn't like me. My crewmates, like Sister Montserrat, will say, that's not true, Ron. I'm in your mathematics class. You're not getting your homework done. It has nothing to do with the teacher. And the other kids will say, Ron, what's going on? And I'll say, well, my grandmother's sick. I just can't keep up. And then the crewmates will say, that's not true. We see you outside playing after school. You're not doing your homework. You need to get your act together, Ron. You cannot fail here. So, these Crew meetings are a support group, but they're also an accountability group. They're the group that you have to be honest with. And they track your academic progress and your growth as a person. If you're treating people disrespectfully, your Crew will talk to you about it. If you're being worried and feeling terrible, if you have anxiety, if you're feeling suicidal, your Crew is there to check in and make sure you're okay. Every kid has to talk in every Crew meeting. You can't hide. It's always in a circle, so you can't be in the back. There is no back to a circle. Very much like the presentation of yours this morning, Padre. The same idea. It's not hierarchical, we're in a circle together. So, Crew is both a culture and a structure. And the structure of Crew happens for adults and for students. The adults in the building, the teachers and the leaders, also meet together. Not every day, but every week. And they check in. How are you doing? It's not a business meeting. It's a check-in on how are you all doing personally and how are you doing with your work. And they stand in a circle and they work together to support each other. So, you cannot have a strong student Crew structure if your staff doesn't believe in it, doesn't model it. And staff Crew meetings, when we circle up as staff members in our schools, are where teachers learn to do this. We're not all born honest. We're not all born comfortable being our full selves. We have to practice that together. So, when I went to a school and a teacher of mathematics for high school said, I don't want to lead a student crew because I was hired to teach mathematics, not to be a therapist, not to be a psychiatrist. Mathematics, you hired me to teach mathematics. I don't want to help kids who are feeling bad. That's not my job. I said, I am so glad you're a teacher of mathematics. I love that you're a teacher of mathematics. But we did not hire you to be a teacher of mathematics. We hired you to help children learn mathematics. And when they are scared in your class, when they are scared in the world, when they don't have a relationship with you that's helpful, they don't learn mathematics well. You need to be part of this so that you can build relationships with your students where they understand and believe in you, that you can help them be mathematicians also. We hired you to help children learn, not to teach at them. And it was only in crew meetings with his fellow staff members that he learned how to open up and have real conversations with his crew. So in our schools, the teachers have crews, the principals have crews, the nurses have crews, everyone, all the adults have a crew. In some of our schools, the caretakers, the custodians, the people that work on the grounds have crews. We all have children we take care of. We all run a family in our schools. So, those crews are like family. Kids talk about their crewmates as their crew brothers or their crew sisters. When I ask students, why did you succeed in school? Why did you graduate? Why did you go to university? They say, my crew brothers and my crew sisters made me. Just like brothers and sisters in real life, they fight. They don't always like each other. But they are family. They don't give up on each other. They stay with the same crew for multiple years. Our students often have the same crew leader and the same crewmate for 4 years in a row. 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, because it's their family. Every student talks in crew every day. You can't hide in crew. And it focuses on academics, and it focuses on personal health, and it focuses on being a good person. Are you treating others well? Are you kind to others? Are you standing up for what's right? Justice, love, peace, everything that was talked about this morning. And making sure that no one falls behind in their studies. And it's the place where hard conversations happen. When kids have trauma in their families, they can talk about it in crew. When kids are struggling with their friends, it comes up in crew. It's where conversations about gender, about race, about faith, all of those things happen, about poverty. And I've sat in on many crew meetings where kids said things I never would have said in high school. When I was growing up, my family at home was not a functional family. There was lots of mental illness. My mother was not there. It was not a healthy situation where I grew up. I hid that in school. It was a secret. I thought if anyone knew, they wouldn't ever want to talk to me. Many of our students in our schools have hard family situations at home. Poverty or mental health problems or abuse or violence at home. In crew, people find out and we figure out how to help them. So, it's therapy and push. And it holds you accountable to be a good person. So, in crew meetings we have apologies. We go around and apologize to each other if we weren't our best selves. We have affirmations when we shout people out. I want to shout out Sister Nuria for the way she helped me. I want to shout out Sister Christina for what she did. Adults shout out children, children shout out adults. They give them affirmations and thank yous. And we have kids taking stands. I want to take a stand for this in our school. We're not doing this well. And pledges. I'm making a pledge to do this. So we have structures in crew where people stand up for what's right. I'm going to show you some video of what crews look like. It won't look like where you teach, because all of these are schools in America. But you will see that these schools look very different. Some schools have 100 students, some schools have 2,000 students. Some are in the middle of the city, and some schools are way rural on roads like this that are not paved. So it's a real mix. Hopefully it will work, and if it does, we have subtitles in Indonesian. But the speaking will be in English.
I think the power of crew is that it's about students and teachers getting to know each other deeply. We all bring outside lives and experiences to the work we do on a daily basis here, and that it's important that we recognize our humanity.
By working in our community and then working our way out, we bring more positive change.
We want our local community, our national community, our global community to be ever improving. We need everybody to be not just on board, but helping drive the ship forward.
We're crew, not passengers.
The whole relationship and philosophy around your crew is truly embedded.
And we're going to make a circle.
To get at the heart of the child, they're not alone. How do we create an environment where kids feel like they belong and they're part of the school community and not just a student in school? We have to build a relationship.
Crew is a vehicle that helps you build relationships, whether it's faculty crew or student crew.
Crew is a structure that allows us to create a sense of belonging. And it meets at least 30 minutes a day.
That level of confidence that comes from feeling like you are belonging into a space really sets the stage for growth to happen.
I want to educate children sometime in the near future about the LGBTQ+ community.
Every student has a crew leader, and that crew leader is assigned to about from 12 to say 17 students.
Your crew advisor really gets to know like your life outside of school, your life in school, your academic progress.
Just getting to build those camaraderies with people, you know, it helps you build your character as a person.
So it's a way to uplift you in the school.
As principal, I've become a better person, a better leader, and a better advocate for kids with my engagement and my understanding of crew.
They're in it together, they're in the same ship, right?
And having your crew there is really, really good. Especially like as a first generation student, it's hard to like seek help for the applications. And if we didn't have crew, I would be lost, I wouldn't have time. I feel like all the colleges I applied to wouldn't have gotten applied to.
They hold each other accountable, they push each other to their highest goals, and they challenge each other emotionally.
I just love you guys, like, I love heart, this is how I'm loving right now.
We unite with each other. We're basically like a family. We're responsible for each other, make sure everyone's on track.
So you didn't erase your lines. So that we got erasers so we can make it perfect, and we got to ask our crewmates if they could help us.
And that's so much like, I don't know, it's so much bigger than just like, oh, you're my friend and I'm just gonna be nice to you. No, I'm holding you accountable to like do this hard, rigorous work, but I want to support you along the way. And seeing kids do that is like, that's it. That's what it's about, right? Like, that's crew.
Because if they help me, that would be showing compassion.
When students feel like their identities are welcomed, one, and celebrated, two, it certainly impacts their academic success positively and significantly.
Crew has helped me academically by providing me with skills of how I can advocate for myself. Verbally, maybe I need to reach out to someone that's stronger than me in math.
I pointed out to my crew that if anyone needed help in math, I would help them because math is my favorite and my best subject. So I'm there to help my crewmates if they need it.
Many students feel defeated when they have to ask for help. And I think when students have the opportunity to have themselves celebrated and recognized, that fear tends to dwindle.
We're also very willing to bring up difficult conversations, have conversations within our community, and be able to trust one another.
Maybe because of my privilege, like some of the things that we've talked about in Courageous Conversation are related to race, mental illness, marginalized groups such as the LGBTQ community. We've talked about white privilege.
It's always the Black people reaching out to the white people.
I think it's best to be honestly pushed to where you're not in your comfort zone, you're in a little bit of a stretch zone.
I think brave and honest communication is a prerequisite for equity. I think that you cannot have one without the other.
What has to be in the conversations is trust and love and a lot of
because I had an incident with my cousin and she's no longer here with us.
we need to be able to share our stories, and in Crew, since we get to do that, we get to have other people's support from us.
Those relationships that happen there span out into the entire community.
Crew gives our students a voice to take a stand for something that they believe in.
When one is given the position to proclaim that he more dogs without fear of reprisal, such people can just so much.
We see our bloodshed and we help animals and we serve.
Everyone on the front lines is
Their presence and their effort and their work and learning is contributing to moving this ship forward. And by being crew and not passengers, they are advocating and creating meaningful change in the world around them.
In Crew, you teach us to become better people in general, and that's why we basically go to school, to learn things, but to also to learn how we can help people, and how we can become our best selves to help people around us.
The schools that we work with in America, we serve only schools that are in communities that do not have much money. So we serve the poor families and communities in America, but our results for student success are very good. We have many schools where all students get into university. Not all can afford to go, but they all get in. And there's not one reason, but if you ask the students, why is that these students are so successful in this school when in the other schools in this city they're not, or the other schools out in this rural community they're not? They will always say Crew. They will always say, because my crewmates supported me. When I went to school, I was in it alone. It was me, just me, trying to get ahead. Our students don't feel that way. They think, I have a whole crew behind me. If I fall behind in my classes, my crew will help me. If I get in trouble for my behavior, my crew will get me on track. They're not always happy at their crew. Sometimes their crew holds them accountable and they get angry. But they are always appreciative to have that crew because they're not alone at school. When I invited some people in England to come visit America, they were looking to open new schools in England. These schools now that are open, they're called the XP schools in England. They have a city in England where the schools were not very good, and they wanted to open new public schools, like this beautiful new public school here, that were great schools for children. They had read our books for Neil Education. They asked if they could come work with me, and I said yes. They came to America and I said, I can meet with you for a day, but then I want to bring you to schools. So I brought them to many schools, and they met with students and teachers, and they sat in on classes and crews. And after a week, when we brought them to the airport, I said, what did you take away from this? And they said, we have a whole book of what we took away. But the biggest thing we took away was crew. And in their schools now in England, which are very successful schools, on the walls it says, if we get crew right, we get everything right. And they made crew, staff crew and student crew, the central focus of their school. So, I'll show you one more video, and then if there's some questions, I'll take a few questions. It'll be hard because we'll need translation, because I'm so limited with language. I don't have superpowers. Every single morning before school, they stand in a circle every morning to get ready and encourage each other for the students. Some meet once a week. But we have schools with over 2,000 students. You can't have 250 staff members in a circle. So they break into staff crews where there'll be a principal and an athletic teacher and an art teacher and an English teacher and a math teacher and a school nurse all in one crew. And they meet every week. And they build relationships across the school so that they're not separated. So, I'll show you a short video that shows 3 different schools, each doing staff crew in a different way.
We are crew.
Not passengers.
We want healthy, happy, intelligent, ethical students ready to contribute to a better world. We have to invest the time to make sure that our adults, our teachers, are ethical people who are also effective learners and contributing to a better school.
In order for our students to do the work, we as a staff have to do the work. We have structured our staff meetings to mirror that crew structure. So we do greetings with each other and make sure that we make everybody feel welcome. We do activities and energizers with each other. That is the work. It's the work of building relationships. The shares become really important because it allows us to be able to share our stories.
Don't know what to do.
I feel that they're their voices are being heard. They are known for being human beings, and they are known for their particular circumstances.
Step away.
It is really important for our staff to really get to know each other and spend time seeing each other in different ways outside the walls of our school.
Fill every moment with something I could cross.
Readings in staff crew could be any kind of text. It might be a quote or a poem.
Sensitive cargo, but he's not
An
marked.
opportunity to think bigger and get our staff out of the everyday grind.
And have a deeper conversation about how this relates to you. You know that you're not doing this again. Great. We'd be wise when they let you.
When we found that we were really struggling with our point of compassion, we made this choice to say we should have a school-wide learning target.
Reflect on how are we doing with that learning target.
I will lead with integrity and compassion.
Moving away from that idea that because I'm not accomplishing it doesn't mean that I'm not working toward it, and doesn't mean that I'm not
River Bluff is a school of over 2,000 students, 125 certified faculty. Crew is our culture, and Crew is the place that is the heartbeat of River Bluff.
Where we want every kid to feel at home. Also, every staff member to feel at home.
As we progress today.
Faculty crew is led by our peers. They model a lot of really important protocols.
And we also have a good time.
Committed, no cry.
We do some type of initiative that's fun.
Getting to know each other, and that's going to lead us into building those strong relationships with some of the hard questions.
Set those expectations and those norms for ourselves.
I demonstrate a growth mindset by reflecting on my own practices.
We're intentional about using the word crew in faculty professional learning because we believe we are crew, a model and an example of student crew. Heterogeneously grouped, representing multiple cultures, multiple departments, multiple grade levels.
People who teach the whole gamut, different inputs, and people with different views.
My athletes, when they come to practice, I can tell if something's going on in their personal life.
How do we provide a culture where students feel safe?
We are intentionally looking at how we can better relate to our students and each other.
We should also engage in a crew experience professionally in faculty crew where teachers are grappling with conversations. We've had a unique conversation about wounded students, supporting students in trauma.
Do you have trauma in their lives, even if it's not visible?
So this is a blog post from Dr. Hendershot, the authority on the wounded student. Read this, underline it, highlight it, annotate it.
We've been using protocols, doing readings and annotating.
They gave us little cards with quotes from students, and we tried to identify whether a student was wounded.
To support a student in trauma, the best advocate happens when the relationship is developed, where it's a deep relationship and the relationship of transformation with hope in the middle. You can't rush transformation.
I was telling Jason when I was in middle school and high school, I did have trauma in my life. That personal experience gives the other teachers at my table a view of a student that they might not have. And it's also good for them to know me. You know, not only is it insight into a student, it's insight into relationships in our faculty.
Work in equity starts with advocacy. To advocate for someone, you have to have a relationship with them. You have to know their needs, you have to know their abilities. And those relationships begin.
So at Mills, we actually have the wonderful diverse school. And so we want to cater to that and celebrate that, really. The crew really opens up this space for getting to know each other on a different level.
And we're going to segue into these courageous conversations around identity, specifically race. And we'll be discussing our first encounters with race or racism. In kindergarten, my best friend is Gabby. And we hang out all the time. We have school together after school, I'd go to her house. My mother asks how come Debbie never comes over here. So she extends an invite. She says, well, why don't you invite her over for dinner next Friday? Debbie said that her father told her that she was not allowed to go to Shatira's neighborhood. And she is not allowed to go to Shatira's apartment where she lives. I think that storytelling is something super underrated. I think we don't do it enough, especially as educators. The talk to us is the talk you have to have with your kid that lets them know that people are gonna treat you away, and it's because of your race, and it's because of the way you look.
This is a story I haven't told before. I was thinking about
We tend to keep ourselves out of the work, and I really like to challenge that in hoping that people bring their whole selves to the work.
Continuing to build teachers' capacity to have courageous conversations about race and difference and identity, that is incredibly difficult work that pushes teacher thinking around how to get students to have these conversations, but also pushes teachers to examine their own implicit biases or histories regarding race or identity.
Moment of, oh my gosh, and I didn't know it then, but this is colorism and this is so rampant in my own community.
One of our goals is to collaborate and build that culture the way we want to with students. We need to go back to tending to staff crew because our student crew can never be any stronger than our staff crew.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. There may be a few questions if we can do translation, but I want to end by saying I'm not here to prescribe, to tell you to do anything, but I wanted to share this idea from America that's been so powerful for us, that our schools that are using crew, the students are succeeding academically and personally in ways that don't usually happen in America. And it's not only because of crew, but crew is a really big part of it. because they're not in it alone. The teachers are not in it alone, and the kids are not in it alone because of their crew. I'm going to take 5 minutes if anyone is brave and would like to try a question, and we could get some translation help. Yes, please. Thank you for your courage.
Okay, my name is Stefan, and I really find some interesting during the presentation, and it's really, I got some, a lot of insight from this presentation, and that's why I have some questions. It's really simple, but before that, I just want to share some of my story that happened in the past. A few years ago, I have a friend that we started to study together, but unfortunately, we cannot conclude it together. It means that some of them decided to desist in the middle of our academic journey. That's based on some factors that they could not adjust themselves to the new environment. That's why based on academic mindset as you present, say that firstly, you say that I belong in this academic community. That's why I have a question. How can I, as a friend, as a teacher, or as an educator, could help these students to feel belonging to the academic community? And the second one is about the power of crew is to make everything possible. But sometimes I find some opposite with this one, with this situation, because in school, we have a lot of group work, group discussion, group tasks that requires the participation of all of members. But sometimes I observe and notice that some members in group that really passively to participate in discussion group, just being an affirmative person. When some people give their opinion, and he just says yes. When we say no, he just say no. That's emit all of the idea that some of friends that gave in the group. That's why I have a question. How can we help these kind of students to be actively in a group discussion, to be useful, to be constructive, to be productive to the group, so we can be guarantee the good result for the group. So thank you.
Obrigado. Amazing. First, I need to thank you. Number one, your courage to speak up. Number one, your excellent English. A true superpower. And two really good questions. Two really good questions. So the first question is, I belong in this academic community. Really matters, but how do we make it happen? We talk about that in Crews in America all the time. And I've learned from our students that to belong doesn't mean we allow you to be here. To belong means we value you, we respect you, we respect your ideas. It's not just being allowed in. It's being respected and valued. And so we need to make sure we have conversations. Is everyone feeling valued? And as you say, some kids are shy at first. But that's what Crew does, is when you're sitting with the same 10, 12 people every day, and I'm always being shy or being closed, my crewmates will start pushing me. Sister Montserrat, or Sister Monica, or Sister Nuria, Sister Christina will say, Ron, you are holding back. We know you don't seem to be feeling good. How can we help you? They won't let you be quiet. And it's different when your friends and your family are pushing you than just that the teacher is. And the kids will check up on me after Crew. You didn't seem good in Crew today, Ron. Why? And so it's building those protocols where everyone looks out for each other, and we use discussion protocols in Crew. We don't just say, anyone want to talk about this? We go around the circle. Everyone has to share. And if somebody doesn't say anything, the other students will look and say, are you okay? Is something wrong? You don't seem... And if a kid really says, I'm having a hard day, they say, how can we help? Do you want to talk after crew? Like, it really is a time when I get pushed if you're hiding. And so it's kindness, support, but it's also pushing you to open up and also pushing you to be your best self. It's not easy. And for some students, it takes weeks or months before they open up. But after years, they're a whole different person because they have that family. They're not alone. And many kids that would have left school or dropped out of school or maybe even thought about suicide or something terrible or joined a gang, their crew gets them back on track. And that's been very powerful for me to see. This is such a great question. All right, I'll end here. But I'll end with a quick story, which is every year I go to England to support those schools that use our model. In fact, when I leave Timor-Leste, I'm flying to England to go work with those schools. Again, volunteer work, because I love them. When I go to those schools, I say, I'll work for free, I'll do teacher training on one condition. I need to be able to sit in on student crews. Because when I sit in on student crews, it fills me with hope for the world. When I hear students be honest with each other, support each other, call each other out, I realize how beautiful the world can be, and it gives me the energy to keep going. So they are lining me up every day that I'm there. I'll get to sit down on student crew and hear students doing that, pushing each other, supporting each other, being honest with each other in a way that I never was in school. I always hid. I always kept to myself. So I am an evangelist for this idea. I don't know if it would fit in all of your schools in the same way, but the idea of it is something I hope sounds like in some way you can make it possible. Whether it's the spirit of crew or the structure of crew, whether you use the name crew matters not. But it's the idea of working together as a team versus everyone out for themselves. Tomorrow I'll have a very different topic. We'll be talking about beautiful work and academics, but it's really nice to start with crew because crew is the heart. Thank you so much, all of you, for inviting me here for this. And someone is going to do a closing, I think, for the day.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Romerio, for your speech. It's very nice very interesting to share your topic. So before we go to the next session, we will invite Mr. Berger to come in front to give the gift. Please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite Mother Elogia to come to give the conclusion for the first day conference. Please stand time to offer.
Ok, para terminar, temos 5 minutos. Para as 5 terminarmos às 5, vamos terminar às 5. Então, uma breve conclusão do dia de hoje. Como foi o dia de hoje? Como é que vivemos este dia? O que é que levamos? Não é? Hoje falávamos a Madre Monserrat dizia sobre uma homilia que hoje ouviu, disse: nunca mais já vou falar da mesma forma, algo mudou em mim. Eu acho que também para nós, depois do dia de hoje, algo mudou em nós. É isso que esperamos, que levamos algo. Um pequeno resumo desde da manhã até agora. Começamos com o Monsenhor, que nos convidou-nos para sermos farol de esperança, formando mentes e corações, inspirando alunos e apoiando famílias, as instituições, que possamos trabalhar juntos. Esse também era o nosso objetivo, que possamos trabalhar juntos. Depois, escutamos também um vídeo muito bonito com a mensagem do cardeal Tolentino Mendonça, que nos deixou essa mensagem que eu acho que tocou o coração de todos, não é? Timor rima com amor. Timor rima com amor. E também destacou a profunda celebração de fé, de cultura e compromisso com a missão educativa. O Centro Educativo na Roma Esperansa, dizia Tolentino Mendonça, é um símbolo de uma missão evangelizadora que forma indivíduos enraizados na cultura timorense, preparados para os desafios futuros, inspirado pela pedagogia da família de Nazaré. Maria e José acompanharam Jesus com ternura, escuta e uma enorme sabedoria do coração. Depois o Padre Guilhermino, representante do amo cardeal, também nos deixou uma mensagem destacando uma educação transformadora é aquela que guia, que inspira e molda o coração compassivo, que vai além da transmissão do conhecimento, mas buscando desenvolver no indivíduo a capacidade de empatia, de compreensão, de ação em prol do bem-estar coletivo. O padre, depois o senhor Apolinário também, diretor do Ministério da Educação, agradeceu também muito a oportunidade que Deus nos dá a todos para crescer e aprender juntos. E a seguir escutamos a nossa Madre Geral, Madre Irene, superiora das Madres Escravas, que nos contava também um pouco o sonho destas duas congregações e como nasceu esse sonho de unir forças para impulsionar a educação em Timor-Leste, ressaltando a criação deste projeto que se concretizou desta união e colaboração entre todos. Então também nos falava de que também é um chamado de Deus e que traz desafios, mas que continuamos com esperança. A seguir escutamos Madre Monserrat, que nos falava também do rumo a uma rede de escolas com alma. O discurso da Madre Monserrat nos convidava a uma reflexão sobre o futuro do mundo, o papel transformador da educação, destacando o Pacto Global Educativo proposto pelo Papa Francisco como um caminho para semear humanidade e tecer comunidade. Este pacto, dizia a Madre, não é apenas uma iniciativa, mas um convite a construir pontes. A construir pontes, a construir uma cultura de encontro, de diálogo e compromisso, compartilhando, buscando humanizar, unir e transformar indivíduos e escutamos o Padre Eric, que também nos falou sobre na educação católica de hoje. O seu discurso enfatizava a importância da sinodalidade na educação católica em Timor-Leste, convidando à reflexão sobre o papel das escolas na Igreja e na Nação como base no documento final do Sínodo da Sinodalidade de 2024. A sinodalidade foi apresentada como um caminho de renovação espiritual e reforma estrutural para uma igreja de escolas mais participativas e missionárias, promovendo o diálogo, o discernimento comunitário para resolver conflitos, integrar fé e cultura. As escolas católicas foram desafiadas a abraçar a inclusão, servindo os mais vulneráveis, colaborando para elevar a qualidade de vida da nação, um apelo que também chegou também para o governo, para apoiar essas instituições. E escutamos a Madre Dulce, que também fez uma partilha sobre a experiência educativa canusiana em Timor-Leste e que nos falou também de um processo integral que visa formar o indivíduo em mente, coração e ação, inspirando-se no modelo de Cristo crucificado, abrangente, não é? O espírito e oração. Também falávamos desse espírito de comunhão, exigindo colaboração entre madres, leigos, governo, todos. A Madre Virgília também, das Irmãs Salesianas, nos falou também sobre a concepção de Dom Bosco na educação, educar o coração, que também já tínhamos escutado antes, enfatizando uma abordagem que molda a pessoa por completo, não apenas intelectualmente, mas focando o cultivo de virtudes, amor, moralidade, através da razão, religião e, sobretudo, sobre bondade. E depois do almoço fizemos o trabalho de grupo, que acreditamos que também foi muito bom, a partilha, e amanhã vamos fazer a partilha dessas perguntas, que foram também muito interessantes. E terminamos, penso, o dia de hoje com chave de ouro, com o Dom Berger, que nos falou sobre esta cultura de equipa, força da equipa. Eu penso que a partir de agora a nossa forma de trabalhar e de ajudar e de colaborar para o trabalho em equipa também nos ajudou e nos deu muita força. Falávamos também de 4 condições para o sucesso dos alunos: sentir que pertencem à comunidade, à escola, sentir que podem conseguir crescer através do esforço e que, sobretudo, o que estão a fazer que tem valor, sentirem valorizados também. E falamos também da cultura, dessa cultura de trabalho, a cultura de fé, que são o fundamento, né? Trabalho em equipa e fé. Agradecemos a todos os que partilharam conosco e que nos enriqueceram. Amanhã há mais, muito mais, e contamos com todos. Muito obrigada a todos.
Dia kami datang memberikan meloja tapi a conclusão da primeira conferência firmai dari kata meaning normal para conferência valor o multiple no firmai colocar fila para ir a parting kami convida para considerar voto atau que fonetik di mana lokreitnya ini terpadu na biha patung track di unita angusuro no kalau Roma apa kita say abu ida novi 30 ada seorang novi 30 debe descansa dia Kita semua paling tidak normal. Ya, terima kasih.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the first day conference. So tomorrow we will meet again at 9:30. We will meet in the new school building, the amphitheater. So thank you so much for your participation and see you tomorrow.